Welcome to Care Sandwich, the podcast where we dive into the success journeys of law firm owners across the country. I'm Margarita Eberline, your host and the founder of Marketing Boss, a fractional chief marketing officer firm for law firms. On this show, we'll explore the challenges, strategies, and victories that have shaped law firms and how they wrap every interaction with care. Because we believe that caring isn't just a value, it's a strategy for success. So grab your favorite sandwich, sit back, and let's dig into a conversation filled with insight, inspiration, and of course, a lot of care. And I am so excited to introduce our special guest for today, attorney Talal Ghosheh, who founded the Ghosheh Law Firm back in 2009 and has been an aggressive defender of the people. And that is putting it lightly, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't just work your case, he truly fights for what you need and holds people accountable. He prioritizes his clients and goes above and beyond to get you the results that you deserve. He went to UGA, where he received his law degree from the John Marshall School of Law. And Talal, tell the people about yourself, because this bio is just not enough. Tell us about you, who you are, what you do, how you roll, and what you're about.
How I roll. So like you said, my name is Talal Ghosheh. I have been a practicing attorney here in the state of Georgia since 2009. I attended Griffin High School for high school. For college, I went to UGA, graduated class of 2000, go Dogs. And for law school, I took a little bit of a break from going to college to law school. So I actually worked for Macy's at their corporate offices back when it used to be Rich's Macy's. For those of you guys old enough to remember that.
I remember.
So I worked at the corporate offices over in Perimeter. I worked there for about 6 years. And I always felt that I wanted to do a job where I had the power to help people. So while I was working at Macy's, I bartended part-time at a restaurant, and I just, at that time I was about 26 years old, 27, somewhere around there, and I just had this overarching feeling that I wasn't doing anything that was meaningful in my life. No disrespect to retail sales, fashion, all that kind of stuff, but I just really didn't feel fulfilled as a young adult growing up here in Atlanta. And so I had always just I always thought the law was cool. I wasn't one of those people who likes to argue all the time with people. It was just something that I felt just very strongly about. And so
Can I just pause to point something out that I observed that I think is really awesome about you? You are so sensitive and you're so aware and so considerate that even in you describing your own journey, you took the time to be respectful of people that were retail workers. And I want to expand because I know what you meant by it, because I know you very well. It's not, what I'm hearing is, and what I know about you is, it's not that you don't think that other jobs are meaningful jobs. It's that you were trying to connect and seeking what was meaningful for you.
Correct.
And I just think that is amazing, because a lot of attorneys, I believe, lose sight of every single profession is respectable. And so, every single race is respectable, every single background is respectable. And I want you to talk about that, because a lot of the people that you help are people that are janitors, or they're in, different types of positions, construction workers, just normal people. And I've seen it in action, that something unjust happens to them and they don't know what to do. They feel vulnerable. And it's like they need somebody to step in and help them. But I've observed they also need somebody that respects them and that cares about them and that wants them to also be treated with dignity. So talk to us about that. You are a master, I would describe, in the art of aggressive advocacy. And I think that's been the outcome of this. So talk to us about how do you connect with people? How do you help them? How do you work your cases with care and always keeping in mind the dignity of the people that you're working with?
Well, I think the to really understand something, you understand something better if you've been a part of it. So I came from very humble beginnings. I worked with my father in various jobs ever since I was a little boy. He had a service station in the 90s that I
A gas
worked
service
at.
station?
So
Mm-hmm.
back in the 90s, they still had the full service gas stations. So, I used to pump gas and learn how to change tires and do things like that. In college, I worked at Sam's Club. I was a forklift driver. I did roofing for one summer. So I've had a variety of jobs. So I really wasn't born into, a very privileged lifestyle. And I've gone through a lot of things, and I've, bartending, dealing with the public, being a server, serving people, it was a good experience. And I remember
Is that where you learn how to pay such close attention?
you have to watch. So as bartender, you have to listen and you have to pay attention to what people need and anticipate what people need. So I I always remember being in those shoes and working to something more. I was a college graduate when I started working at the restaurant. They wouldn't let me wait tables because I didn't have any experience. I had a college degree. I knew how to write programs. I knew how to do all this, high-end stuff, but they wouldn't let me wait tables. So I had to start as a server assistant, a busser. And since I spoke Spanish, all the Mexican guys or all Hispanic guys, they were the bussers. So I became like the head busser, and within like 3 weeks, they promoted me to server. Within maybe 6 months, they gave me a shot behind the bar, and I did that for 3 years. What really drove me to go to law school was I didn't feel like I was using my full potential to really help people. Serving people and chatting with them and all that's great, but I felt like I had a greater power that I was, given, by
Of course,
the
with your
divine,
skill
by
set.
the Almighty, and the law had always interested me ever since I was a little kid. So
Yeah.
I made the leap to go to law school. That was probably I'd say one of the top 3 hardest things I've done in my life. I tell people if I had to do it again, I don't know if I'd get through it again because it really was a struggle, but it really made me appreciate it. And in everyday life, we get situations where it's big companies trying to take advantage of people, people doing things that aren't the right thing. There would be no lawyers if everybody did the right thing. So I've done all different types of law. I've done divorce cases, I've done criminal cases, but I kind of gravitated towards the personal injury arena, injury law. I do think, for various different reasons, I've also done a lot of immigration stuff in the past too. So really personal injury was the one area where I felt content with the outcomes of the cases where I could actually bring the best outcome to people. It fit really my personality, and I was able to work more at my pace with the cases. But at the end of the day, it's insurance companies. You buy insurance because, well, one, you're required to, but you buy it so that you will be protected in case something happens. And if the insurance companies would just do what they were supposed to do, my job would be totally unnecessary.
Obsolete.
But they
Yeah.
don't. So basically, you have to jump through all these hoops to get paid for your injuries, and it just becomes something where, your car is messed up, you're in pain, you don't have money, you can't go to work, you have all these things that you have to deal with, and the insurance is like, tough shit. So, it's our job as personal injury attorneys, as advocates, to work towards getting people the fair compensation that they deserve for their injuries. I've done like I said, I've done different areas of law. I didn't particularly love the criminal arena because a lot of the times you don't control the outcome, so then people are going to jail and things like that. In the
Yeah.
personal injury arena, I can't make your injury go away, and I can't force someone to apologize to you, but I can make them cut you a check. In the civil
That
realm,
sounds like a slogan.
that's all we can.
I
That's
can't
all
make
we
people
can
pay. I
do.
can't make people
But it's
apologize, but I can make them cut you a check. Write that down, somebody. It's
right.
amazing.
So as far as the way the civil system is set up, there's really nothing that any attorney can do other than get a monetary award. So, if somebody passes away in an accident, or somebody loses a limb or is disfigured or something like that, those are the types of cases where, in my opinion, even if I do my job as well as possible, it doesn't bring that person back. It doesn't put your arm back on. I had a client probably about 10 years ago lost his leg in a motorcycle accident. We got him as much money as the law allows, but didn't bring his leg back. So even with this area of law, people that are catastrophically injured are never going to be made whole. But
Right.
the system that we have in place is to compensate them as well as we can with a monetary award, and to hold those who were negligent accountable. So that's the slogan for my firm, the Ghosheh Law Firm, is we hold the negligent accountable. Um, so really, I've been through, recently about 3 years ago, I went through my own accident. I was hit by a tractor trailer on 285, and that was a really frightening experience, and it reminded me of why I do what I do. So in my case, the truck driver said that I had sped up, that I let him over, and I sped up so that he would crash into me so that I could collect money. Which was ridiculous.
That sounds like something a lawyer might do. Like, what?
No, I mean, so literally, I almost got ran off the road. I almost got pushed into oncoming traffic on 85. It was probably one of the most horrific experiences. I still have, PTSD from it. Whenever somebody starts to merge over, I kind of flinch. Like it was a very, I luckily, I was injured in the accident, and I've settled that case out. But at the end of the day, it reminded me of what my clients go through. So in my case, the insurance denied liability because they said they couldn't determine who was at fault. So we were very persistent. I had a friend of mine, Mr. Alex Northover with Northover Law Group. He represented me in the case. And, I could have done my case by myself, but it's always advisable to have someone assist you, because it's a little awkward. And if you have a deposition and you're the deponent, then it doesn't really flow correctly. And if we were
Yeah.
to end up going to a trial, you need somebody to present your case for you. So Alex did a great job. We got a six-figure settlement in my case. And so it reminded me, it was actually something, out of something bad that happened, it kind of re-energized me and refreshed me to remember what my clients go through every day. So I take that fresh experience that I've had, and I apply that to my practice as best as I
Yeah.
can every day. And we're all human. We're not going to do everything perfect all the time. But at the end of the day, we do our best to zealously advocate for our clients. So you know me pretty well. I'm a big Kobe fan. So those of you that are familiar with the Mamba mentality, there's 5 pillars that Kobe had in his book, The Mamba Mentality. And I teach all of my staff those 5 pillars: to be obsessive, to be relentless. Those are the 2 main ones that I focus on, because that's what we want to do. We want to go after the insurance company. We want to fight to get you the compensation that you deserve. Something that my firm does differently that a lot of firms don't do is we handle the property damage aspect. We don't make any extra money. It is a big job. It is a big pain in the ass to deal with that. But we do it because it's the right thing to do, and we want to give a complete service to our client. So at the end of the day, that's why I became an attorney, so that I can use the God-given talents that I have to, I can't fix the situation, but I can try to make it as right as possible so that people that do what they're supposed to do. And, unfortunately, like I tell people, if everybody did what they were supposed to do, we wouldn't need insurance, we wouldn't need lawyers, we wouldn't need any of that. But that's not the world we live in. So it's my job to take the knowledge I have of the law, the 15 years experience that I have, and guide my clients through that process to make it, as painless as possible, if that's even really a thing. But at the end of the day, to get them the maximum compensation that they deserve, to do it as quick as possible, and to get them through the experience so that they can get back to living their life. At the end of the day, we don't choose to be in accidents. These are things that happen to us. And unfortunately, the insurance companies really are a business, and it's not really a personal thing. And that's what I tell my clients all the time. It's not a personal thing. It's just you're another number, and they have a certain budget, and the adjuster's doing their job, and I'm doing my job.
Yeah.
We have conflicting jobs. And so my job is to hold them accountable and make them pay the utmost compensation they can for my clients. So we attempt to do that every day in every stage of the process. And
So
we just try to get a little bit better every day and just give each client the attention that they deserve.
Hey there, I hope you're enjoying the conversation and your sandwich as much as we are. I want to take a moment to share a few words about our sponsor, Marketing Boss. If you're a law firm owner looking to supercharge your growth, our team at Marketing Boss is here to help. We've got over a decade of experience and a proven track record, and we specialize in growing law firms like yours with data-driven marketing leadership. So if you own a law firm and you're ready to get a predictable, steady flow of cases from your marketing, let's connect at marketing-boss.com.
So Talal, if somebody's listening and they're thinking, okay, I understand if it's a personal injury case, you're the guy that I should probably call. How can they get a hold of you? Can you give us phone, email, all the ways that people can get in touch with you and your firm?
So you can, our phone number is very easy to remember. It's 404-5-million, which is 404-500-0000. So 4045 and then all zeros. My Instagram is, we have at 404-5-million. And we also have my personal Instagram is Better Call Talal. That's a kind of a little play off the Breaking Bad lawyer, Saul Goodman.
Right.
So I've been doing that for a while. I did it as a joke, and it kind of stuck. It's been about almost 10 years since I started using that. So
It's catchy.
So people think it's funny, and at the end of the day, I just want people to remember me so that I can, take everything that I've learned and apply my technology background to the practice of law and really put the care and love into it and make the biggest difference that I can. Because at the end of the day, when someone has an accident, they're hurt, and I can get them a check that helps them start a new business or put a down payment on a new car. I had a client earlier this year. She got a 5-figure settlement, and she went and bought a brand new car and paid cash for it. So I thought that was
That's
really
awesome.
cool. So, if I'm able to at least take a bad situation and get you some compensation for it so that you can do something really dramatic in your life, I get a great feeling doing that.
Now, Talal, I have an obligatory question that I ask every single podcast guest, and I'm about to ask you this very important question.
Okay.
What is your favorite sandwich? Because it is called the Care Sandwich Podcast.
Sandwich.
Surprise me.
Well,
Surprise the audience. I've gotten some surprising responses.
I have been working to get back down to my young man weight. So I have been eating, when I eat sandwiches, I eat the Hunter's Club from Jimmy John's with the unwich.
But is that your favorite? What's your favorite, though? Don't give me diet sandwich. Give me your favorite. Your favorite.
Diet sandwich. It's really good, but it's got
Ah,
no
okay.
bread on it. It's
That's your
basically
favorite.
a sub. It's got roast beef, provolone cheese, lettuce, tomato, and then it's wrapped in a big lettuce. So it's
Where do you get it again?
Jimmy John's.
Jimmy John's, sponsored by Jimmy John. Just kidding. By the way, Jimmy John, sponsor me. Talal, thank you so much. This has been a pleasure. You sharing your story, your journey, your thoughts, your philosophies, and your favorite sandwich.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Care Sandwich. Remember, the way we care for our clients, our teams, and ourselves can make all the difference in our success. Until next time, keep caring, keep growing, and I'll see you on the next episode of Care Sandwich.